Time now for the voice of the land on the Big Play Network with your hosts, Kevin Arnold and Always Positive Jay.
Congratulations to LSU on your victory.
Kim Mulkey, her fourth championship. She goes, I believe it, did she go home or did she go to LSU? I know that there's like some like personal connection to LSU in Louisiana. I should have looked it up before, but it meant, you could see it meant a lot to her today. But you have two championship games, both on the men's side and the women's side, that don't have a number one seed in it. You had a 2 and a 3 in the women's game. You have a 4 and a 5 in the men's game. Two great tournaments. 2 1 seeds win out for the women, where there's less parity on that side so far, but it's starting to kind of come together on that side. There's been a lot of parity on the men's side, and with this extra COVID year that these student athletes have been given, you're seeing some of the more experienced teams not just upset in one game. They've been together for so long. It doesn't matter how powerful or how big the name is on the other side. It matters what the name on the
They just got great chemistry.
Just got great chemistry, and they're playing well. FAU, a 9 seed, a great example of it. San Diego State, a great defensive team, great example of it. UConn, a 4 seed. They've been dominant in this tournament as a 4 seed. They've kind of played like a number 1 seed, especially coming down. You look at
Duke losing.
Duke, the Blue Bloods. Yeah.
That was a jab.
But all the Blue Bloods not really making it on the men's side. You have Iowa against LSU today. The best player in probably the entire country in the women's side of the game, an absolute baller in Caitlin Clark, who had 2 40-point triple-doubles the last 2 games that Iowa played. LSU made it a point to try to take her out of the game, or at least try to make her seem like she had to take over instead of being able to get her own and get her teammates involved. They did an excellent job of that, and they won. Fair and square, they beat down the Iowa Hawkeyes, did it the LSU Tigers, and they won. Caitlin Clark has been known to kind of take this is where the wrestling kind of tie-in comes in, perfect double segment here. Caitlin Clark has been known to, when she gets on fire or people try to get in her head, she does the "you can't see me," and that's, if you just listen to the audio and you've never seen John Cena, he puts his hand in front of his face like he's invisible, and it became a joke.
You can't see him; he's invisible.
And
Deshaun Stevenson did it to LeBron.
Deshaun Stevenson.
And then the next following year, courtside, did it to Deshaun Stevenson.
Oh, beautiful.
He got really mad and gave me the worst dirty look I've ever got from a player in my life. And if he was Kyrie, I would have been not thrown out of the game.
After Deshaun Stevenson had to face LeBron James, we really couldn't see him anymore.
No, we didn't. That was a good one.
But I digress.
Yes.
And John Cena does that, and he's told the story many times. His brother actually gave him the idea. He thought it was stupid, and it just caught on, and now it's a meme, and he plays into it all the time like he's invisible. So that's what she would do, and she's a trash talker. And if you're on the floor, if you're playing basketball, there's going to be some of that playground trash talk going.
I mean, like, one of the greatest players ever is Michael Jordan. He's a huge trash talker.
Huge trash talker. You saw that in The Last Dance. Angel Reese, the star player of LSU, had a great game. Her teammates had a great game. When she was at the free throw line and they were about to, LSU was pretty much sealing up the game, Caitlin Clark was standing next to her. Angel Reese did the "you can't see me" back to her. I love seeing that if you're winning, the trash talk is good. I took issue with it after the game when Angel Reese, I know that they haven't been there before, but I'm a firm believer, and you can call me an old curmudgeon with this, I'm a firm believer in act like you've been there before, and Coach Kim Mulkey has been there before. I know the LSU Tigers have not, but she has preached to them, act like you have been there before. Angel Reese following Caitlin Clark around and continuing to do that. And then after the game, she didn't do it to Caitlin Clark, but made it known and had a camera in her face and knew what she was doing. Had the finger, the ring, index finger, and the thumb in the shape of an L, put it on her forehead, and then pointed to her hand that they were getting a ring, but called them losers. We're winners because we're getting a ring, and probably a message sent to Caitlin Clark more specifically. Thought that was classless.
Well, I didn't know that happened.
Yes.
See, I only saw the one video where she just goes like that to her, and everyone's like, "Oh, blah blah blah, you're classless," and I'm like,
we were watching the game, and so there was the first instance where I was like, kind of cringed a little bit, but I'm like, I played basketball before. Caitlin Clark has done this. Hey, it's college kids. That stuff's still gonna kind of happen. They're still somewhat immature. They're not playing professional.
That's another point.
It's that trash talk right there. But then after the game, instead of getting in the line to do the handshakes after you've celebrated initially, and you just keep following her around, you keep following her around with the "you can't see me" and pointing to your ring finger. We get it. You guys won. You're gonna get a ring. Caitlin Clark lost, and it's not Caitlin Clark's fault that the entire country caught on to how good of a basketball player she is and only focused on her. She did not ask for that. She is someone that talks about her teammates religiously, relentlessly after a game. It's not her fault. We get it. You made your point. At some point it got classless, and then to see her make the loser thing on her forehead, very childish, very immature. And I thought to that point, it got to the classless point. We crossed the line from trash talk back and forth, you won, make a point of it, to now we're going too far, making it classless.
I have to actually probably agree with you in this sense.
All right, well,
but here's the thing,
dungeon.
and I don't 100% agree with you, though.
Yeah.
Like, I believe when you win, you could talk to smack if you want to talk to smack. And I also have a problem with competitors all liking each other nowadays. Like, especially in the NBA, everyone's like, it's all buddy. Like, back then, like, they did not like you. Like, you beat me, I beat you. Like, I don't like you, you don't like me. And it felt like there was more rivalry back then and stuff. Now everyone's buddy in this AAU basketball system. Everyone's friends with each other and stuff, which is so. But like you said, there's a point where you're talking trash and when you cross the line.
Yeah, like teams.
And I don't want to go on here and sit there and because I didn't see it live. I was watching the movie with Tiffany halfway through the game, and so I don't want to like speak on it without seeing it all and knowing all the facts. If you don't, how did Caitlin Clark respond to it?
All credit to her. She was very mature about it. She didn't pay attention. She didn't get into it because we saw an issue in the women's NIT tournament.
So she took her out and just walked and took it.
Yeah, where like Bowling Green, I think one of their players in the handshake line after they won, they may have been like as a team like talking trash and feeling good about themselves. Like you should do that after you win. You feel good about yourself. I don't want to see the buddy and stuff like that. But it's one individual making it about themselves, and I don't.
Here's another thing.
I want to make sure I say this in this kind of era right now in the society that we're in. I don't care if Angel Reese was man, woman, however they identify, whatever background they come from. I stand by this no matter what. If you believe me, you believe me. If you don't, you don't. I understand that. But I want to make sure that I say that. This is just an instance where it is the women's basketball game where this happened. I'm bringing up the behavior not because of the background of the people. I am bringing up this because I don't like that you're making it about yourself. Your team just won. You guys want to get out there. You guys want to gritty like LSU has always done. You want to get up on the podium after in the press conference and say, we did this. Nobody wanted to give us any credit. Nobody wanted to do that. We just won the national championship. We're going to get a ring on our finger. We did this. Man, I had a great game. My teammate had this great game. All for it. Even if it goes to some language that we don't use. Still, all for it.
In her defense,
an extended period of time of just making it about you to one person. I mean,
in her defense, who is the star of that Iowa team? It is. She is the star of this, that whole tournament. Like she was single-handedly carrying them. What did she do? Like we just discussed, she talks smack. I swear, if you watch this game, LSU just did what Michael Jordan did. They made themselves so mad at her. They probably just created anger and used it, and they fueled themselves. And in sports, you're pouring so much of your emotions, and these, like we said, they're kids. Was it a mistake? Yes. Was it egregious? No, I don't think it was that egregious.
No, I'm not trying to make it seem like it was like egregious, but like,
was it wrong?
This was
be wrong and not like be just like people want to persecute someone and say they're this or that. Like she's just she's a kid and she's caught up in her emotions. That doesn't make it right. But I can somewhat understand it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and I think it went beyond. It went towards being classless. I get it during there, but at the end, I think it went a little far. but still, it's like, and I think what Kevin was saying before with the Bowling Green and the Memphis game and that handshake line, the Memphis player cold cocked one of the Bowling Green students in the back of the head.
Yeah, like
that
is where I'm gonna get.
Yeah.
That's agreed.
That's assault. That's
I don't want to see I don't want to see things get to that point. Like
See, here's what and this is Kevin's not saying this by any means, but I've seen people on Twitter calling her a thug and stuff. I'm like,
no,
that's
for that
you're taunting her. You don't like her. Like she clearly does not like her.
And I can see that because you're right. They made Caitlin Clark basically the face of this, and everything was about her. And as a player on the opposing team, I can see using that as it's locker room fuel. It's bulletin board material, right? You get fired up about that, you win. And it wasn't a close game.
No,
I mean, they won.
No,
what was
they
it,
won
125 to 85 or something.
What you want to see now is just once the emotions all come back down, her reach out and be like, hey, what I did was, wrong. I apologize. She was a great competitor. I was into my emotions.
I mean, to be honest, Caitlin Clark became the Steph Curry of this whole thing.
You either loved her or hated her.
Yeah. That's what it became. Now, just the personality that I saw come out of Caitlin Clark, hey, it was classless, but thug. Like,
that's ridiculous.
Boy, that could be a whole rant too. Like to go to that extreme. Like now, like I feel bad for Angel Reese that she has to deal with that stuff and deal with the idiots that are on Twitter. Like, I'm sorry, Angel Reese. I'm sorry. You played a hell of a game. You're an absolute baller. Your team is full of ballers. I saw floaters in the lane against hands in the air. There was good defense by Iowa. LSU just couldn't miss. That was a great basketball game.